Hi, welcome to RVLRB, where today I'm going to be reading this brilliant book on David Bowie. For those of you that don't know, David was, how shall I put it, like the 1970s George Ezra. And I know it's hard to believe that there was somebody that talented back in the 1970s, but believe me, David was something special, as you'll find out in the book. This is a Little People, Big Dreams book, and it's really important, this series, because it's highlighting the concerns of little people, and you have to be under 4 foot to qualify as a little person for the purposes of this book. David luckily was 3 foot and 11 inches, which is why we have this book on him. Let's get into it. Little David lived with his family in a tiny house on an ordinary street in London, but he had ideas that would take him out of this world. At school, he loved music and dance classes. He had a real talent for singing, and his dance moves were from another planet. His teachers had never seen anything like it before. He spent hours listening to his brother's rock and jazz records. David was so inspired by the power of music that he started to write his own songs. David studied art, music and design at school. Sometimes his teachers were not sure if he was a boy or a girl, but David was just delighted to be himself. One day, he got into a silly fight with his friend George, who punched him in the eye. That punch changed David's look forever and made him strangely magnetic. David and George remained friends and formed a group called the Conrads. The rest of the band was happy playing at weddings, but David wanted to become a star. He jumped from band to band looking for a chance, dreaming that, one day, all the lonely kids on planet Earth would sing his songs out loud. But David knew that a great singer needed to be a great performer too. He decided to mix his music with the most spectacular outfits and dance moves ever seen on stage. David wrote a song about a lonely astronaut, and it became his first big hit. The whole world listened to his song the day man first walked on the moon. Next, David transformed into an alien rock star called Ziggy Stardust, the coolest space invader the world had ever seen. Dressed as Ziggy, he finally made it to superstardom. David wasn't sure where he was going from there, but he knew it wouldn't be boring. He kept reinventing himself, and that's what made him David Bowie. I wonder what your favourite outfit is. I like this one. For more than 40 years, he kept exploring new galaxies. Filled with futuristic sounds, he inspired generations of fans to find their own voice and dare to be different. And by never being afraid to be himself, little David became the most unique star who ever fell to Earth. Thank you for watching. If you want to find out more about David Bowie and his music in particular, I discovered this really good website recently. It's called Spotify. Yes, if you go to Spotify and you search for David Bowie, then you can actually find every single song that he's ever done on that website. That's Spotify. Okay? So I'd recommend you go to Spotify and you search for David Bowie. If you go away, I did this myself actually before I read the book, if you go away and listen to every single one of his songs, it should take you around 13.5 hours, because he's done about 700 songs, and then come back and watch the video, I promise you'll get even more out of it. So, see you again in 13.5 hours, guys. What are you waiting for?